Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam yasha Allah. Koholoy malay Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bahashim Chachakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, the great millstone who rule well, that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. And just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to the best of their ability. It's Jachanan Nawah, just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And we have to keep on touching on these prophecies, man. It says BRICS global currency could dislodge dollar, render U.S. sanctions impotent. Ex-White House economist says basically, so hey, if the U.S. can't push them sanctions on these countries, then because that's a real power play for the U.S. They've been able to use that dollar to the point where they're able to say, hey, okay, well, you can't trade with him. You can't trade with him. If you trade with him, we're going to sanction you too. We'll cripple your economy, basically. That's how the so-called white man been getting down out here. He's been getting down out here for a real long time, and that's a part of his sword. That's a part of the sword that he was gifted with, man. The fatness of the earth. He has the fatness of the land. He's controlling most of the resources. And he's definitely in control of that, the money globally. That's why when you go into Job 9:24, it says that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof, if not, wherein who is he? So this man, he's in control of the earth because he's the one that's running things. He's the one that's able to say, all right, you can't go here. You can't deal with this person. Even with the COVID-19, who you think was in control of that? The mask and where you could go, what your curfew was, and all this other stuff like that. You had China doing their thing too, but we're talking about on a global level. So-called white man, hey, he's out here running everything, and that dollar plays a huge part in it. But let's get some of this, because I was reading it, and it's possible, man. This thing could happen, and every time someone has tried to uproot the dollar like that, it's always been pretty much war, but it hasn't been on this scale. See, America now has to deal with multiple nations, and they're spreading themselves too thin. Okay, but it says a former White House economic advisor says a coming BRICS issued currency has the potential to topple the U.S. dollar's dominance in international trade. In a new article on foreign policy, Joseph Sullivan says that a BRICS issued money would enable its members, Brazil, Russia, China, India, South Africa, to turn their backs on the dollar and trade goods and services using a new currency, which he calls the BRIC. Okay, it says, according to Sullivan, who served during the Trump administration, the BRIC could usurp the dollar's place on the throne, as BRICS is composed of economic heavyweights in their respective regions. And that's true. All these are not China. Between China and India, hell, that's billions of people. Because I think India just surpassed China in population just this year. Then you got Russia, another heavyweight. We're talking about people that have nuclear power. These people, these are, countries that have nuclear power. So it says, the Economist goes on to say that the BRIC could be the beginning of the end of the dollar's reign. And you already know, man, if this going down, you know for sure. World War III is already in play. For sure. They about to get down out here, man. It says, for starters, they could fund the entirety of their import bills by themselves. In 2022, as a whole, the BRICS ran a trade surplus, also known as a balance of payment surplus, of $387 billion, mostly thanks to China. Hey, China been on their head, man. It says the BRICS would also be poised to achieve a level of self-sufficiency in international trade that has eluded the world's other currency unions. See, they rocking out on the U.S., man. The U.S. This place just done fell. It's done failed, man. It's falling. It says, as for the U.S. government's reliance on the dollar to keep other countries in line, Sullivan says the reaction of other nations following the financial sanctions imposed on Russia indicates that the weaponization of the U.S. dollar will become increasingly ineffective because it's not affecting Russia like that. It's not even affecting North Korea like that. Hell, North Korea, they still out here building ICBM missiles, man. Them intercontinental ballistic missiles. They firing them off, man, like it is nothing. This man, them sanctions ain't shut them down. Them sanctions ain't done nothing but made those people go even harder, man. It says the dollar's reign isn't likely to end overnight, but a brick would begin the slow erosion of its dominance. Yep, and that's true. That's true, man. Let me see, it ain't but 2 comments to this, a couple of comments. This person says pretty soon they will confiscate all bank accounts and pensions and precious metals in the name of national security and to protect and preserve our freedoms. It said, I see this starting to happen on a small but subtle scale. Said it happened in 1929. Hey, Americans will just buy up all the alternative currencies and destroy it. Yeah, this person, you a damn fool. 20 nations, including Italy, have came out regretting signing on to it. This guy right here. Slot. Okay, this person right here says, thanks, Joe Obama. Hey, man, Joe, well, they all playing into the hands basically of the elite, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but America been falling way before Obama got there and Joe Biden, man. It says our country produced a president who was a bully. How sad. See where the bullying got this country? The only ally this country has is Israel. Man, shit, Israel don't like America. You can hell out of here. Next, the BRICS countries will refuse to trade with us, China will salt all the farmland they bought in America so no crops could grow. Just when you think it's a big surprise comes in, our enemies poison our drinking water and knock out electrical grid. Without firing a shot, somebody says. Conspiracy theories, yeah, all right. Check and see how much farmland China bought in America. And that's true. That's true. And see, America, first off, that's why the scriptures talk. Let me get this real quick. Let's go off into Salakia. I don't need that. Let's go off into, let's get the blue letter real quick. Because this is a foolish nation. See, they talk about patriotism, how patriotic they are. You know, you Negroes, y'all go and join their army trying to be patriotic when they're not patriotic themselves. The so-called white man stole this country with all types of violence, man. And they're greedy as hell. They'll sell their mama to the lowest bidder, not even the highest bidder. You know what I'm saying? And they're a foolish nation because you think China is about to allow the U.S. come over there and buy land, set up shop, set up, just anything. You think that there's gonna be a fucking United States town like there's a Chinatown in every damn city in America? You crazy, man. And why? Because they understand never trust thine enemy. See, America don't care. This man will sell, I'm telling you, this man will sell his mama with his grandmama, his daughter, whoever, man, if the price is right. So he'll sell all the Americans, not necessarily secrets, but he'll sell secrets. This man will sell, he has sold the nuclear power hookup. He has basically sold the information to these other countries to allow them to build nuclear weapons. Why would you do that? That right there had you on top. Now all the other nations, they have your technology. They should have been making it hard as hell for anybody to sell anything or even say anything about any American weaponry or any of that. Now all the other countries got the gun too. That's stupid, man. Let's see if I can find that. Because they're base people, man. Let me see. I think of the one I want. Oh, yeah. Might as well. Yeah, let's get this. Let's get all of this right here. We're going to get all this. Let's get all this Job 30. That's perfect. That's a spirit. Let's start from the top. It says, Job 30:1. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to even set with the dogs of my flock. So Job was like, man, he wouldn't even set these so-called white people with his dogs, man. And we know how they'll get down with them. And you know what I'm talking about. Yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished. For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former times, desolate and waste. Hey, this is them cavemen who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. So they was eating, different types of roots. They were driven forth from among men. See? People was like, man, hey, look, man, y'all gotta go. Y'all just fucking up everything. Y'all just too goddamn much, man. And that's what's happening right now. They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the clefts of the valley, in caves of the earth, and in rocks. See, this wasn't that long ago, neither. Don't let these so-called white people get to telling you about there was Neanderthals, and you're derived from a monkey, and then a monkey changed into a man, and all this other bullshit. Nope, this was the so-called white man in those goddamn caves about 6,000 or 7,000 years or so ago. This wasn't that long ago, like how they give you them millions of years, billions of years. Look, man, don't listen to none of that. These so-called white people, that's why they're called Caucasians. They come from the Caucasus Mountains. They've been living in the cliffs and caves, man. That's where you get the fucking cartoon, the Flintstones from. It's so easy, only a caveman can do it. Remember those, I think there was Geico commercials? Look, that's them people. And they're base people. Greedy as hell. It says, among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together. And basically braying is like, when you see like a horse or a donkey, or because they really didn't have no spoken language. They were just, I think they got a documentary on some so-called white people up in the woods. Where is that? The Appalachian Mountains, I think it's called. Here near the U.S. Incest. Mama sleeping with son. Son sleeping with mama. Father sleeping with the daughters sleeping with, and all those damn incestuous kids, man. Braying, man. Among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools. That's the point that I wanted to get. Yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. And when you're a base man, that word base goes off into a real low person. It's like you have a house and you got a basement in it. That's the lowest part of the house. They're not on the level of the regular part of the house. They're not, and definitely not on the level of the attic. They are base people. Because it takes a silly ass person. Like I said again, they'll tell you they're patriotic, born in the USA. They got songs. I'm proud to be an American, all this other shit. But they really don't care about this place, man. And it's really the elite that's running things. But you do have private companies here. What do? They ship all the jobs over into all these other places. They don't care nothing about the American citizens working. Because why? They're greedy. They don't want to pay no pay. So they'll ship those jobs over to countries that are doing for, pennies on the dollar instead of, and then they'll get to talking about how it's an American product, but every goddamn thing in it, built in it, is made in Mexico, or made in China, or made in Taiwan, or made in South Korea, or made in India. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you can go to a store right now and pick up an American flag, and more than likely it's going to say made in China on it. That's ridiculous, man. But anyway, hey, this is beautiful, though. We see where this is going. I love it. As a matter of fact, let's go into the Apocrypha now, because that was pretty much it on that article. Let's go off into the Apocrypha. Beautiful, man. I love it. Every time this right here is Ecclesiasticus 25:7. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy. And the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemies. And that's what we're watching, man. We're starting to see that. Our main enemy. Because see, the BRICS nations, those are enemies of ours too. They're going to get their demise as well. Because Russia, they're Edomites too. The Edomites are the number one. Let's go into Psalms 83 real quick to show you the enemies of the Lord, man. The Lord has enemies, and those enemies are enemies of the children of Israel, which are you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. These people hate your guts. So your Russia, those are Edomites too. You got Elam, which is them damn Indians with the dot on their head that own all the motels and 7-Elevens and shit here, being your neighborhood, selling Jake a bunch of bullshit. Then you got Brazil, which a lot of our people are scattered throughout all these nations. But that's mainly the so-called white man. Damn Edomites running that too. Who else was it? China. We already know them, some of the main enemies of the Lord, two damn Moabites. They're all named off right here in Psalms 83. I'm going to start from the top, verse 1. It says, a song or psalm of Asaph. Keep not thy silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. They that hate thee have lifted up the head. These nations hate the Lord. They don't want nothing to do with nothing righteous, man. They don't want nothing to do with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Who is his people? The Israelites, the inheritance of the Lord, the chosen peculiar people, his inheritance, the apple of his eye. It's the Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And consulted against thy hidden ones. They consulted against us. This is what they said. Check it out. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Now, is that talking about Israel that's going on, right? Because the nation of Israel is there. I mean, the city or the ground of Israel is still there. But what that's talking about is it's talking about you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know, see, you're calling yourselves names after what the oppressor, when they enslaved us, when they came together as a confederate and enslaved us, they gave us these names that we're calling ourselves now. So what they done was they took that crafty counsel and against the Lord's people, and they cut us off from being a nation. Now we don't call ourselves Israel no more. Well, you know, we're waking up now. Of course, there are camps out here that's teaching, and we call ourselves Israelites right now, but we're talking about as a nation. The whole nation, Southern Kingdom, Judah, Northern Kingdom, Israel, you know, the majority of our people, they'll fight with you when you get to talking to them about they're not Mexicans or Dominican. They proud of that shit because that's how long we've been downtrodden. Okay, but it says they have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, that's the so-called white man. They're the main one. They're the first ones being named off on the list. Esau, Edom, that's the biblical name for the so-called white man. Because there's no such thing as white people. They're pinkish to reddish in color. You're not going to see somebody walking around on the earth looking like a glass of milk. A glass of milk, I mean, that's white. They're pinkish to reddish in color, but they come up with these social constructs and got the entire world or the entire globe thinking that there's a nationality or ethnicity called white. That's not scriptural. That's not in the scriptures. There are 18 nations in the scriptures, and all these nations have a biblical name. The next enemy is the Ishmaelites, which is what they would call Arabs or whatever these days. You know, they all throughout the neighborhood ripping Jake off. And it says of Moab. Moab is your so-called Chinese. See? That's another. That's one of your main ones right there as far as the BRICS hookup. And the Hagarenes, Kibal, and Ammon. And Ammon, that goes off into that's the so-called Japanese. And you know they're fully confederate with the so-called white man here in the Americas. They're allied to the so-called white man here. And Amalek. And Amalek, that's an Edomite nation too. That's the top tribe of the Edomites. That's your small hats that's over there, in the Holy Land right now, humping the wall, talking about, speaking that Yiddish, talking about they're the people. And won't be able to tell you, no, they can't tell you where the other 11 tribes are at. They just got the world thinking that it's just Jews. No, it's not. It's 12 tribes. Jacob had 12 sons. You see? All the nation of Israel come from one of those 12 sons. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you come from one of those sons. That, you come from your respective tribe. It says the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. So you have a lot of Africans because, see what the so-called white man did, they told you that you was the whole continent of Africa. They didn't say, they're not telling you it's 54 countries in Africa, in that continent. They're just telling you you're damn Somalian, you're Ugandan, you're Nigerian, you're Zimbabwean, you're every damn thing in there. How could you be? How could your nationality be a whole damn continent? And then America is a continent, 2 continents. You blacks, so-called blacks, you're calling yourselves first off a color out of a crayon box. Then you're calling yourselves 2 continents named after 2 so-called white men. Because America is named after the so-called white man. And Africa. A lot of people don't even know that the continent of Africa is named after a so-called white man. See? So you're calling yourselves, you're saying that you descend from two different white men. And that goes off into this particular verse right here where it says, they have said, verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. That's the reason why they can say you're African American and call you all these different bywords. And but that's a curse in Deuteronomy chapter 28 as well. But, you know, I'm just flowing in the spirit on it. But the point of this right here is this right here is going to bring along that third woe. Let's get that. Because it's already pretty much about there, man. World War III is pretty much already banging. It just hasn't got to a scale of, you know, real action going on, I'd say. I'll put it that way. Because if you think the so-called white man is going to allow these countries to get together, and because that would be the end of America. America, they would have to, that would be the complete end of America. Because it's going to nosedive. It's going to go under. And you so-called Americans, you have your own people to thank for that. You have the so-called white man to thank for that. Because he was the one that sold off, that gave away all your damn gold and silver. Now you over here, you dealing with monopoly money. Your money is not backed by nothing but some shit that you can print on a printer. They got printers, man, that can print just as good as the shit that they printing that money out on. You can go to damn FedEx, Kinko's or something and get the same look. I wouldn't recommend you do it though. don't quote me on that. You know what I'm saying? They'll throw your ass under the jail for printing the same shit that they print. Revelation 11:14 it says the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. This is what's happening. That third woe is on the rise. That's why we try and tell you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man, you have to wake the fuck up fast. Because this third war is coming quickly. All this stuff is coming quickly. Matter of fact, let's go on off in here. Because check this out. When you go off into the next chapter over, chapter 12, it says, and all this flows together. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down. Who you think the devil is, man? When you go up into this word devil, let's get it real quick. Let's see, a lot of people, they think Christianity done taught the people that when you hear the word devil, it means, you know, some white guy in a red spandex suit underground with a pitchfork. You know, he got the two horns, he got the little gold tee and shit, and he's poking people in the ass like getting that lake of fire. That's not in the scriptures, man. Let's get this word devil. Let's see how they have it in here. And it's Diablos. It's G1228. Let's see what it means. It's in the Greek. Prone to slander. Who's prone to slander? The so-called white man. The scripture says that he's estranged from the womb. He come forth speaking lies. Roughly paraphrasing that. It says slanderous. Accusing falsely. That's what the word devil actually means. This is not some guy underground in some place called a lake of fire, and he's just waiting on you to get there. It says a calumniator, false accuser, slanderer. It says metaphor applied to a man who, by opposing the cause of God, may be said to act the part of the devil or to side with him. See? Now you have the spiritual demon, Satan, but Satan has a physical counterpart here, and it's the so-called white man. He's being used to push all the wickedness throughout the planet, man. But basically that word devil goes off into slanderer, man. So this man lies about every fucking thing. That's him. Okay. It says it says a traducer, especially Satan. False accuser, devil, slanderer. There you have it, man. So now let's go back off into it and get let's get the rest of that verse. It says, let me start back from the top of it. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. See, this man know that he has but a short time. So, hey, this shit, these people about to get down, man. They're about to get down. And mainly, let's go over the next chapter, chapter 13. Because this is really what it's all leading up to. And all these nations are pretty much in on it. They're in on it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be, they trying to bring together a universal, basically a damn world reset, a new world order. And you already know that the U.S., they've been on top for the longest. They're going to want to try and continue that reign. Then you got China. They whooping U.S. ass in most things anyway. They're going to want to try and come up next. You got Russia. Come on, man. This is Revelation 13. Let's start at verse 16 here. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. See? In 2 Corinthians 2:11, it says, we're not ignorant, lest Satan should get an advantage of you, for we're not ignorant of his devices. See, they'll easily use something like this right here and say, all right, it's time, we got to do something else. We got the CBDC going on. Everything is going digital. The cash is out. We're coming. You can come down and get that thing in you. And we know what the thing is. That's what they want to put into your ass. They want to put that damn chip in you, man. It says, and he causeth all, both small right hand. Because you're gonna have to get down or lay down. Look at us. You gotta deal. If you want to deal out here, you gotta deal with our dollar. And it's gonna be the same way, the way that they're gonna push that MOTB, man. That C-hip, that chippity chip. It's gonna be the same way. You wanna eat? Because the so-called white man are individually put sanctions on your ass. This man will sanction you. And then once you get off into that, you take it, he'll still sanction you. You're not getting down with what we want to, what we want you to do. We'll turn your shit off. We'll turn you off and let you starve out here. Because that's what it's coming down to. They're in control of all the resources. If you're paying attention to all the things that's going on out here, with all the damn farms burning down, bird flu, damn mad cow disease, they recalling every damn thing. Every time you look up, it's a recall on some type of food. Trains derailing, shit going all off into the water, chemicals and shit. I mean, come on, man. This man is in control of all the resources, and he's just buckling everything down. Everything is in place, and he's ready to go. So that's why it's so important to repent to the Father, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, get off into these scriptures and go hard for the Lord, man. Because this is what's going to be the stability of our times. That's what the Lord said in it's that Isaiah. It's at 33:6, I think it is. Yep, and it says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure. So you want to be into these scriptures. You want to be covered by Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Because he said that my servant shall eat, my servant shall drink. Matter of fact, I can end out with that, because you don't want to be dependent upon the so-called white man. That's that scripture where, matter of fact, real quick, Isaiah 31:1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. So you want to be seeking Yahweh. You don't want to be going down to Egypt because they have all the shit. That's pretty much what this particular passage is saying. It's saying that Egypt and America is a spiritual representation of Egypt. So it's saying because they have everything. They got this huge military. Nobody can mess with us. We the best nation in the world. We got this, and this. All they do is brag, boast, and braggadocious and prideful as hell. So our people look to the so-called white man for every damn thing that they need. They don't go to the Lord. They don't pray to the Lord. They don't even consider who they are. If you go into Isaiah, I think that's 1 and 3. The ox knoweth its owner. The ass his master's crib. But Israel doeth not know. They doeth not even consider. Our people don't consider. And then when they do pray, they're praying to white Jesus, the damn idol, which is the white man. See, our people look to the so-called white man for all their needs, man. I'm trying to think of that other precept. I was just, what was it? Oh, yeah. And out here, Yahweh Ratazah. You want to be on the right team, man. And it's going to be some stuff to go through, but shit, man, it's going to be worth it in the long run. You don't want to, like I said, you do not want to be, you don't want to be dealing with Esau out here, man. You don't want no parts of this man's judgment that's coming. So that's why we're telling you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, according to Micah 2 and 10, come out of her. It says, come out of her, my people. This is not your rest, for it shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction. Because America has destroyed our people, man. You look around and you see Jake on the street, man, or just the women, you just be out in public, just supermarket, store, just at a park, whatever, man. You can just see our people, man. Our people are finished in this place, man. We need salvation. It's that Isaiah 65. Let's see here. Whew, man, boy. Verse 13, let me go ahead and get to the point. Verse 13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, Isaiah 65 and 13, yep. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. So see, as you can see, this is talking about the servants of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. That's why it's so important to come on into this truth, be doers of the word, man. Be real servants, be real doers of the word. It says, behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. And that's scary, man. You see what I'm saying? That's scary right there. Here you go. You're going to have people out here, man, literally starving. They're not going to have anything to drink. And you got to imagine, man, people, especially the women with these babies. You single women that's out here with all these kids, man. And you men as well. Don't get me wrong. You men as well. Because it's, when you have to look at your children going hungry, man, that's going to be a bad state. And it's going to get worse than that. You're going to be picking out which one of them you're going to eat today. I'm telling you, man, things are about to get real nasty out here. You want to be under the wing and protection pavilion of Yahweh Bashai, man, in these last days. You do not want no parts of what's to come, man. And I know that was a lot that came out of this. But, hey, this is what it is right here, man. BRICS global currency could dislodge dollar. Render U.S. sanctions impotent, man. And that's, hey, because these countries are tired of the U.S. Even the allies of America are tired of America. Because they probably realize, well, shit, they probably on the low key like, well, shit, man, I hope they do it. Hell, we can go ahead and fuck with them. Because, man, we tired of them, too. Because when America sanctions a country, you know how many countries, that even their allies, you know how many allied countries of the U.S. are being fucked over by having sanctions on Russia right now? We're having sanctions on North Korea, with certain minerals and certain, just certain, because each continent has a different type of soil, a different type of dirt. Some have diamonds, some have gold, some have silver, some have uranium. All these different types of things. So when you can't trade with those countries because you might need what they have, it's kind of like a barter. With the U.S., they make it to the point where, nope, you better not fuck with him. If you fuck with him, we going to put your ass out of business too. So all these countries, man, they sick of that, man. And you can't blame them. And then, hey, it's just time for America to just come on to an end, man. All great empires fall. The game must end at some point. You see what I'm saying? You can't win every championship, right? But anyway, I just wanted to just touch on this, man. I pray that this lesson was truly edifying for you. With that, Kwam Yashala. Repent.